Not forgetting my coffee tonight, people. All gone. Welcome to the show. So we are back tonight with don't look at what it says on the screen. It's correct, except the big number in the middle. It's round 4 of the P1RC Toyota Corolla GR Sprint League. We are live from Road Atlanta. 3 10-minute races. We've got a one-shot qualifying coming up in about 5 minutes. They do have to use softs and mediums throughout the night, so it'll be interesting to see who decides to put on which tyre. So they've only got to use one set of mediums throughout the night. So, you know, do they stick those on in race 1? Do they use them in race 2? I suppose it all depends on where you finish, where you start, how your race goes, where you qualify, that sort of thing. So yeah, live from Road Atlanta tonight for round 4. Again, don't look that it says round 3. I didn't make it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Merch still available, people. Oh, no, what am I meant to be doing? What am I meant to be doing? Not looking at that anymore. We're going to be looking at scores. So, leading the way is, let me get this right, P1, Croby 1, 664, because he's a Kronenberg drinker. He's had a couple of pints today, so we don't know how he's going to get on. Is he even in the lobby? He's in the lobby. He's in the lobby. So he's leading the way with 147 points. We've got Ice Chand in second with 124 points. We've got Mockin in third with 120 points. Dylan fourth with 113 points. We've got Pilgrim in fifth with 110 points. Tyre Slayer in sixth with 93 points. We have Captain Pugwash in 7th with 87 points. Nick Vick in 8th with 70 points. We've got Skippy in 9th with 68 points. Hirokram 10th with 53 points. Faithless Emo in 11th with 36 points. Winnie ST is in 12th with 28 points. And It's Hoggy is in 13th. Joint 12th with Winnie, both on 28 points there. So that's points up until now. As we go into round 4, I'll now flick over to this screen. Merch still available, people. T-shirts and stickers, hit me up, smokegroup.googlemail.com if you want any of those. Right, so are we still... No, we're still in practice mode, so we're not in qualifying laps just yet. Just let me know you can hear it okay. Oh, let me turn the sound on, then you might be able to hear it okay. If I'm too loud or if the cars are too loud, just let me know. I'll jiggle some sounds, but I think I've got it right. A, I've got to turn the sound on for you lot to listen to it. B, I've got to keep the microphone close enough that I don't just start talking into nothing while it's over here and you can't hear anything. And you know, it's those sort of silly mistakes that I still make after about 5 years of doing this stuff. So there you go. Evening. Here we are, round 4. So not many in the lobby tonight. I did notice it was looking a bit sparse. They do put up a poll before the race to see who's racing, and that was looking a little bit empty as well tonight. Not too sure what's going on. I think somebody's still having their dinner. But Croby 1664 managed to make it after a couple of Kronenbergs. So big shout to him. So in the room tonight we have Faithless Emo, unable to make it last week unfortunately. P1 Obi-Wan, Nick Vic 007 Ice Chan, we've got Mocking Weeks, Captain Pugwash, Skippy and Pilgrim. So just the 8 drivers for tonight's race by the looks of it. Hopefully people eat their dinner, get back from work, whatever they're doing, and maybe they can join us for race 2 and 3. We'll see. So first race is obviously determined by, we just see people doing handbrakes and donuts in the background. First race obviously determined by grid positions from, finishing positions from the qualifying session. It is a one-shot qualifier, so an out lap, a hot lap, and that's it. So that puts him in their positions for race 1. Race 2 is a reverse grid, and then race 3 is wherever you finish in race 2 is your start positions for race 3. So just about to hit this one-shot qualifying then. Just about to. Somebody drive. Okay, let's turn the nonsense on. So, Road Atlanta then. Let's do a little bit of a lap. So we've missed turn 1 due to pit exit. Into the S's then. Again, there won't be much fast speeds, I don't think, on this first lap. Drivers just getting used to their car, getting a bit of space between themselves and the drivers in front and behind, warming those tyres up. So all those S's. A little bit of a straight then down to this double right-hander, almost 90 degrees, both of these. One just slightly under, one just slightly over. And then a big, long back straight, even with that great big curve in it. Hammer down all the way down here. Little chicane at the end before the last couple of corners. Let me stick the live on so I can talk to you lot. Where is it? There it is. So down this big long straight then. That on. Chicane coming up. Hard on the brakes. Again, tricky one. You can see the track's not that wide in certain places. And these Corollas are not massive cars, but still widens here. Down towards these last couple of corners then, pushing it through this last turn. Carrying as much speed as possible. And here we go then, across the line. We're starting these hot laps now. Turn 1. On the brakes. Big, wide track. Try and carry as much speed through there as possible. Struggling up the hill a little bit in 5th gear. Into the S's then. Just got to be careful you get these right. It will slow you down all the way through this section if you get these wrong. Very wide there for Ice Chand in front. You can see he's getting a little bit closer to Pilgrim. Oh, sideways into here. Oh, almost getting his Corolla backwards. Nobody behind him to stick one up the inside and slow him down any more. Onto this long back straight then. Good opportunity for an overtake down here if the slipstream works well enough. They're not too good in these Corollas. We've found the horn again. But yeah, big long straight down towards this chicane. Opportunities for an overtake through here. A little bit deep there for Pilgrim, so let's get on board then. Ice Chand around this last corner. Let's have a look what sort of times we're putting in. So 1:33.3 then for Ice. Pilgrim not as quick, 1:33.8. Skippy up to the line, stays third, 1:34.3. Pugwash, he was 4th, gets pushed down to 5th. Mocking Weeks goes through then fastest so far with a 1:31.7. Kroby one comes through 1:33.1 as well, sticks himself in 2nd position. Ice Chand stays 3rd. Nick Vick 4th, that's a good lap from him. Pilgrim takes 5th, Skippy takes 6th. Oh, no he doesn't. Who's just come through there? Faithless Emo right at the end, sneaking into 2nd position. So let's just have a quick look at those. Very late entry there for Faithless, but it is Mocking on pole. 1:31.7 for him. Faithless Emo pretty close at 1:31.856, but unfortunately 2nd position on the grid for him. Might be able to make it work off the line. Who knows if Faithless, if Mocking messes his start up maybe. It's a little bit of a straight down towards turn 1. Not much, but we'll see. Obi into 3rd, then Ice Chan 4th. Nick Vick in 5th. Pilgrim 6th. Skippy 7th. And Captain Pugwash in 8th. Just in time. Right, here we go then. 8 drivers on track for race 1. Lights flashing. We wait for these red lights to drop then. Weather looking good. Not looking like we're going to see any wet weather in race 1. Could be wrong though. You never know. It does change quickly. Great big bobble off the line. These things bouncing around. Mocking Weeks holds that top spot down towards turn 1 then. Faithless Emo holds 2nd, but nobody able to make a move really. I think yes, Ice Chan holds on to that 4th. Loses a lot of time over the top of the hill. Oh, Nick Vick, we just catch him. He carries on the corner where everybody else doesn't. Sticks himself in a wall, unfortunately, and a tricky track to get yourself back up to speed and on the tail end of these drivers. Again, short races here as well in the Toyota Corolla GR Sprints. And here we go. Move for the front going then. Mocking under pressure from Faithless into this hairpin. Oh! Faithless just about got a wing up the inside. Mockins had to give him room. And now it's going to be a drag race all the way down this long straight here. Mockin just carrying a little bit more speed. Unable to get a toe either here, Faithless. You know, it means letting off to get behind him. Doesn't want to do that. Going to pile the pressure on him down into this chicane anyway. Side by side still for the pair of them. Oh, a little bit of contact there. It doesn't look like it's Faithless that's come off on top. There it is. Oh, look at this. This battle has just opened the door up. Obi-Wan has come flying through. Ice Chand has come flying through. Mocking Weeks has obviously had a terrible corner coming out of that last chicane. 2 drivers getting past him then. There is Pilgrim now bolted onto the back end of this fight. 5-way battle then for the lead. Skippy in 6, 2.2 seconds behind the top 5. Captain Pugwash 2.2 seconds behind him, and unfortunately Nick Vick, excuse me, we saw have a terrible time through, was it turn 2, 3 through the chicanes as everyone turned left and then swung into the right. His car decided it wasn't going to go right and it just carried on going left and into a wall it went. So Faithless continues to lead then, just hit this long back straight. There is an Obi then. Don't know how many pints deep he is, but he's had a couple. He is closing down on Faithless. That slipstream working a little bit as they get very close together. Faithless is going to hold the inside line into the chicane, but Obi's carrying good speed. Faithless holds the line through there, doesn't lose too much, maybe a little bit wild across that corner, doesn't slow him down too much towards these last couple. To this start-finish straight then for the start of lap 3. Obi closing up again a little bit down towards turn 1, but nowhere to go through there. Into these S's as well. Ah yeah, it is turn 2 as they come up the hill here. It does go sharp and then not, and I think it was just there. It just caught him out. That's Nick Vick we're talking about. Decent qualifying as well, unfortunately. Obi risks it through there. Just got to be careful. Don't want to pick up a penalty in these short races. Not with drivers so close. So Faithless leads then. Obi second. Ice Chand in third. Pilgrim's in fourth. What's happened to Mocking Weeks? He's dropped down to 5th position. Under a bit of pressure from Skippy here. I will flick through and have a look at tyres. Captain Pugwash in 7th, 3.1 seconds back. Nick Vick unable to close that time down either. So let's have a run through on tyres then. Faithless, race leader on the softs. Obi also on the softs. Ice Chand is on the softs in third. Pilgrim, soft tyres. Mocking Weeks is on the softs. Mediums on for Skippy. Mediums on for Captain Pugwash. And mediums on for Nick Vick. Getting rid of those early on then. Just the softs to play with for those boys in the last 2 races. Faithless pulled himself a little bit of a gap then. Obi making a mistake somewhere. Brings himself under a little bit of pressure from Ice Chand. Slightly different lines through there. Ice Chand looks like he's closing down on Obi. Again, nowhere to go through this particular section. S's everywhere. Can't stick one up the inside without sending somebody off track or yourself off track in the very next turn. Still 0.7 between all 3 of these drivers. 0.7 between first and second, 0.7 between second and third. A little bit bigger between third and fourth, 1.1. Onto this back straight though. Who's had the best exit out of there? Pilgrim. Closing up a little bit on ice. He's also pulling in Obi-Wan. And Obi not making as much ground on Faithless as he'd like. Already over the brow of the hill then, down towards this chicane already. So he pulls a 10th in on Faithless, but look how close Ice Chand is at the end of that straight. To 4 of a second. Was a little bit closer on the run through that chicane. But they are all closing up together, those top 3. Mocking then. There's top 4 just going round at turn 1. Mocking's a long way down at the minute. 4.5 seconds. He's pulled away from Skippy though. Skippy was on that medium tyre. Obviously not as fast as those softs. Captain Pugwash as well, a little way down now, 4.6 seconds in 7th. And Nick Vick probably quite happy to just poodle around and finish this race, pointing in the right direction. We'll start from the front of the grid in race 2 if he finishes here. Top 3, gaps coming down again. Looks like Pilgrim's bringing it in very, very slightly. 1.2 seconds he's brought that time down to. Back straight then. Obi looking a little bit closer than he was on that previous lap. Down to 1/4 of a second. Faithless up to the brow of the hill then. What's Faithless going to do? Stick to the inside, drift over to the outside. He just keeps his car almost in the middle. Still manages to get the race in line through there though. Slows him down on that next part of the corner. And there he goes. Concertina effect. Faithless has been tagged by Obi. Obi pretty much tagged by Ice Chand through here. Little yellow wasp just buzzing in his mirrors. So again, through these S's, nowhere to go through here. Well, not without mistakes. Oh, Faithless risking it through there, pushed it. Took a lot of grass, had to gather that one back up pretty quickly. Ice Chand loses a little bit more time to Obi. Into these double 90s then. Again, the tyres are starting to give out on the front end of these Toyotas. They are sliding around a little bit into this long back straight then. Looks like Faithless has managed to pull himself enough of a gap coming out of that corner. He's given us a little flash of the lights as well. So coming up to the 9-minute mark, we will see another lap after this. Whoa, Obi sideways through there. Keeps it in touch with Faithless. And it's now or never for everybody really in race 1. Across the line, 9 minutes and 20 seconds. in weeks. Pilgrim out of that top 3 fight. Skippy again, 3 at the back. Under no delusions, they're not going to keep up with those 5 at the front. They're on the slower tyre. Skippy then in 6th, Pugwash in 7th, and Nick Vick in 8th. Still kept his hammer down. Nick Vick, he's not let it go. He's only 12 seconds or so behind Captain Pugwash. That was pretty much what he was by the time he got himself back up to speed after his crash. Okay, what's the exit like for Obi here and Ice Chan? Who's going to get the best run out of this turn? Oh, it looks like Faithless Emo's held on to it. 0.7 of a second, almost broken that tow range for Obi. But even with the tow all the way down this straight, that is still a big margin to try and bring down. Slinging it into this final corner then. Again, mistakes can happen, so tight corners like that could have thrown it all up in the air really, as drivers get that one wrong. Start spinning around, but Faithless holds on to the lead of the race and takes the win in race 1. Then Obi in 2nd, despite him drinking 5 and driving. Ice Chand in 3rd, Pilgrim in 4th, Mockin taking 5th. Did close up on Pilgrim a little bit at the end of that race. Not enough to change positions though. Skippy around this last corner comes home for 6th. Captain Pugwash? Why didn't it go to Captain Pugwash? There, just as he handbrakes it across the line, we catch up with Mr. Pugwash. And Nick Vick as well, just catch him around these last couple of corners. And what an unfortunate event in that turn 1. Looks like the rest of his race has been pretty normal. Just that turn 2, maybe just carrying a little bit too much speed through it, maybe just braking a tiny bit late or early or on the wrong line. Who knows? Who knows? Get in, says Faithless in the chat. He's shaking. That was hard work, driving in my mirrors, slowing me down. Yeah. Obi, even though he was 5 and driving, he put it to you. Nice. Again, Ice Chan wasn't that far behind, really. He kept you lot in his sights for the whole of the race. So good result there for Faithless. But that puts him at the back of the pack for race 2. Does give us Nick Vick at the front. It's slowest to fastest from race 1. Hopefully we can get through the first couple of corners without too much chaos. Obviously the drivers at the back faster. They'll be pushing harder, braking later. We hope they don't sort of brake so late that they end up sending some of the slower drivers into oblivion. It does happen, but you know, these boys have raced close enough for long enough that they do usually give themselves a little bit of space. We'll see. We'll see. It could still all end in tears, couldn't it? Hey. One second slower than the softs. Faithless just in the chat there. Oof, that's not any good. Is that your option for race 2 there, Faithless? Not that I'm trying to give anything away to anyone else. You know, I know there are drivers that listen to the chat and do pick up little bits of information about who's on what tyre, how much wear there is, fuel depletion, whether they've spun themselves into a wall if they pit. I mean, there is a little bit of delay between me saying it and you seeing it on stream. There's about anywhere between 15 and 30 seconds, depending on how the internet feels that day. But yeah. So, you know, I'm not trying to give anything away. If you don't want to say, then he doesn't know what to do. Answers on a postcard, people, to Faithless Lost. I nearly read out the old BBC address, that old BBC at pebblemill dot whatever it is. "28," says Pilgrim. Again, Mocking in charge of the lobby. Is that why you just keep giving him the is that why you're giving him control of the lobby, even though you set the races up? Blagging it on your poor internet. Pilgs, but, you know, you never seem to get kicked out of a lobby. There never seems to be any glitching from your car. Do you just not like getting called out for being late when you start races? Is that what it is? Are you upset? Anybody in the chat want to give Faithless some advice? What do you think? He's got a set of softs and a set of mediums to play with. He starts from back of the pack for race 2. And obviously we don't know where he's going to finish in race 2. That's going to be his start position for race 3. So he's got 2 races, 2 sets of tyres, 1 set of mediums, 1 set of softs, and again starting from the back this race. So what do we think? There's 5 people in the chat, 5 people viewing. Somebody must have some advice for Faithless Emo. Go and check him out anyway. He does some. It's all on board racing, and sometimes eating stupid food for charity, which you promised you'd eat more of, and then had like 1.5 bites of a ridiculously hot curry, and then cried like a girl. But I think you were forced to make 1 more spoonful before your mate would pay up. I think before the money was sanctioned to go through, they were like, nope, not having that, eat more. I found it funny anyway. Squirming he was, absolutely squirming. Funny video. Live as well, I believe. Yeah, it was, because I was chatting on it. That pain was real. Well, you know, there's ways round that. There's ways round that. You've got to know what to eat beforehand and have stuff ready after. Much things. Close proximity to a toilet, probably. The next morning after. Come on then, people. Anyone got any strategy advice for Faithless? What do we think? Again, starting from the back of the pack in race 2. He's got 1 set of mediums and 1 set of softs to play with. They will last the full race. The softs, again, get a little bit loose by the end if you really push them. But they will last a full race. Obviously, the mediums will last a full race as well. Keep calling out for people to give you advice. Somebody's probably typing a massive great essay on where you were going wrong in race 1. Oh, here we go, race 2. Shut up, Faithless. Pay attention to the road. Okay, race 2. Just about to get underway. So reverse grid from race 1. There'll be different tyres on. Awesome extra speed in the chat for Faithless. We'll see. So lights go on then. We get ready for race 2. They go out. Everybody gets away. I don't know why they jump off the line. I'm not sure what happens there. Decent start by everybody. Mocking pushing early though. Looking to try and make up places before turn 1. Nowhere for anybody to go at the minute. So Nick Vick holds on to... Oh, no, he doesn't. He goes a little bit squirrely. Loses a bit of time. Oh, no, he does. He does. He does. He's got turn 1, turn 2 right this time. He's not being pinned into the wall. Holds on to the lead then through the S's. Oh, a little bit deep through there. No, good line. Holds on to it. I thought he was going to catch a bit too much grass, but it worked out for him. Skippy all over him, looking for a way past. Oh, not sure if there was contact there. Maybe just a little bit wide on the exit of that corner, taking a bit too much curb. Pressing though, Skippy in second, Pugwash in third. Onto this long back straight now, positions are certainly going to swap. Pilgrim in fourth, Ice Chan fifth. Making up more positions, Mocking in sixth then. Obi in 7th. Faithless Emo decided to go for the softs for race 2. Mediums left for the final race then for Faithless. Nick Vick under pressure for race lead. Coming into this chicane then. A few drivers under a little bit of pressure. Who's going to win out here? Skippy slings one around the outside. Holds on to the lead through there then. Nick Vick gets pushed into 2nd, but all over the back of Skippy coming down towards these last couple of turns. Oh, almost gets a wing up the inside as well. Has another little look down towards turn 1, but not quite close enough. Captain Pugwash holds on. Oh, Skippy. Skippy, drive that thing properly, you maniac. I thought you'd crashed that. I thought you'd absolutely sent that into the pit wall, but no. Fair. Okay, alright. Take that back then, Skips. So Nick Vick under pressure then. Pilgrim and Ice Chand trying to find a way past. You can see these Corollas sliding around all over the place, trying to find a way past. Ice Chand, have you just drifted it around the outside of Pilgrim? Mockin's made his way through there as well. He's into 4th now. Pilgrim on the softs in 5th. Has a little look at Mockin. Pugwash in 6th. Obi 7th, but Faithless with his softs gets a better drive out of the corner. Looking to take 7th off of Obi. Again, they are still side by side down here. Is Faithless going to get himself ahead? Still side by side on the run down towards this chicane then. Oof, there you go. There's the power of that soft tyre, just able to turn it a lot harder, a lot faster than Obi. But it's all kicked off at the back. Ice Chand we saw go off track. Mocking Weeks looks like he may have been involved in that. He's dropped himself down to 7th as well. Let's go. Skippy leads 0.8 of a second, sorry, 0.9 of a second from Nick Vick, still holding that 2nd position. Pilgrim in 3rd, 1.2 seconds behind him. Captain Pugwash then into 4th, position swapped all over the place. Faithless been given a couple of positions into 5th himself. 1.2 seconds behind Captain Pugwash. There is Obi-Wan and Mockin. A little battle between themselves, but trying to chase down Faithless in front. Ice Chand 3.4 seconds down. Still, well, I was going to say it's still reasonably early, but we are 4 minutes into race 2. We'll see though. He's bringing that time down, but while we watch him, Skippy extends his leads up front, 1.3 seconds or near as damn it. Nick Vick holding on to that 2nd down towards this chicane then. Pilgrim bringing that time down between himself and 2nd. And again, Captain Pugwash just keeping himself in the frame here as well in 4th. Faithless Emo 0.8 of a second back, and I don't think Mockin Weeks and Obi-Wan are that far behind. Mockin is 0.9 of a second and Obi is 0.3 of a second, but he has opted for that slower tyre in this race, Obi, as has Ice Chand. He's still 3.3 seconds behind Obi. Skippy then, full 2nd lead over Nick Vick. Pilgrim's not been able to bring that time down too much on Nick Vick. It's just below a 2nd now. Yo-yo's a little bit through these S's. There's a couple of drivers just in the background then. We've got Captain Pugwash coming under threat from Faithless Emo. Oh no, Faithless Emo's got one of those corners wrong. He's allowed a Mocking Weeks to come through and take that position off him. These two will have a good battle. Was there space? Yeah, I think there was. They're still side by side, these two. Faithless will absolutely love this lobby. This is have you got one of these? Have you got a Yaris? Have you got the bonkers Yaris, or have you got this thing? Faithless then on Mockin into the chicane, side by side through there, little bit of wing dinging. Still side by side on the run over the hill then, down towards these last couple of corners. Faithless sweeps across track and holds onto that 5th, but they're still battling, those two. Skippy leads then, not crashing into the pit wall, 1.1 second lead over Nick Vick. Pilgrim still bringing that time down a little bit, but it is a little bit slow, 0.7 of a second. Should get a good run on this lap if he can get the toe down that back straight. And again, Captain Pugwash just keeping himself bolted onto the back end of Pilgrim here, just 0.9 of a second back himself. There is Faithless, held on to that 5th, Rocket Weeks 6th. Take nothing away from Obi on that medium tyre. Oh, well, maybe take the track away from him. Take his licence off him for that. I was just about to say, take nothing away from Obi on the medium tyre. He's managed to keep himself pretty much on the back end of this fight for 3/4 of the race. Medium tyres just letting go on him around there, pushing him onto the grass a little bit. And again, Ice Chand on the mediums, just unable to make up any time on anybody in front of him because of it. Does give him the soft for the final race, but unfortunately he starts from the back of the pack if that's where he finishes in this one. Minutes remaining then as we come over the line to start lap 6. Nick Vick under all sorts of pressure then from Pilgrim now. He did make up an awful lot of time down that back straight. On board with Pilgrim then, chasing down Nick Vick. That was a double stab at that corner. You can see the tyres just starting to let go. And there we go. Nick Vick gets caught out once more into the wall, then into the gravel. He's going to have a few drivers passing him. Where's he gone? So Faithless has got through, Captain Pugwash has got through, Mockin's got through, Nick Vick then drops to 6th with that incident. Running a little bit slow, front end damage as well. Got to be careful that Obi doesn't close up on him. Struggling enough on those mediums. Nick Vick's car will repair itself and should get itself back up to full speed, but might bring it into the sights of Obi by the end of the race. And again, Ice Chand unable to close that gap down. So that throws positions all over the place. Pilgrim got the horn on, trying to put Skippy off, running down into the chicane. Still leading though by 0.6 of a second. Faithless gets promoted to 3rd position then as we start this final lap for race 2. Captain Pugwash holds 4th, Mockin Weeks in 5th. Pugwash is under some pressure here then on this last lap. There is Nick Vick trying to get himself back onto the rear end of anybody at the minute. Oh, Captain Pugwash is off the circuit. Maybe try to just carry the speed through there with a Mockin filling his mirrors. But he's been caught out. Obi goes through. Pugwash gets himself back up to speed then, drops to 7th position. Oh, it was all going so well for him as well. What a shame. Ice Chand. So he's got a driver a little bit closer in front of him, but not enough to make a move. Skippy, on the other hand, has now got a mirror full of a Pilgrim. And he's going to be in a good position on the exit of this corner as well. Right, gets a good drive out of there. He's going to close up on Skippy by the time they get to the chicane. Oh, it's yo-yoing a little bit. 0.4 of a second. 0.35. Maybe not coming down as quick as I thought it was going to. Skippy goes a little bit defensive, maybe a little bit too early around that corner. Maybe he wasn't watching where he was going and just looking at a Paddy in his rearview mirror. So over the brow of the hill then, Pilgrim makes a last ditch effort up towards this final corner, but it is going to be Skippy that comes home to take the win in race 2. Great racing between those two. Pilgrim takes 2nd, Faithless Emo should have put the mediums on. Takes 3rd, Mockin Weeks takes 4th, Nick Vick takes 5th, even with another crash. Obi takes 6th, Captain Pugwash takes 7th, and Ice Chand, unfortunately, he also got binned somewhere. Yaris, yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, he got binned early somewhere, did Ice Chand, and that was his race pretty much done and dusted. It's a shame. But we have got one more race coming up, so there is still points to play for. So wherever you finished in race 2 is where you will start for race 3. So no reverse grid or anything like that. And then if you haven't used the medium tyres already in race 1 and race 2, you've now got to stick them on in this final race, which, you know, could be beneficial if you're starting near the front. You could hold people up. Maybe not necessarily down that back straight because it's pretty long and pretty fast. Oh, okay, so I think Ice Chand actually gave Mocking Weeks a bit of a nudge. Because just looking at the chat there, Ice Chand saying sorry to a Mocking Weeks, and Mocking Weeks saying no problem, it's cool, dude. That stuff happens. That stuff happens. But you can see it's respectful. It's none of it's intentional. You know, we don't have that kind of stuff in the lobbies. It's not what we're here for. If you want that, join the dailies, because there's plenty of Europeans that will just send you into a wall if you try and overtake them. So go and have fun with them. That's not what we're here for. Clean, fair racing, as much as we can get it anyway with the game. Unless it throws you a 6-second penalty for swearing at the race officials. So, still decent result there for Faithless Emo in second race. Struggled a little bit to get off the line and get himself past a couple of drivers, but an incident and an accident or 2 or 3, and there he was. Did we look at final positions? There we do. I'll do it quickly because we're probably going to start race 3 and I'll miss it. So Skippy leads, takes the win then. Pilgrim took 2nd, Faithless 3rd, Mocking Weeks takes 4th, Nick Vick took 5th, Obi-Wan 6th, Captain Pugwash 7th, and Ice Chand in 8th. And we didn't miss the start of race 3. Good, because it said 45 in the chat, and we got 3 minutes, so I had plenty of time. I don't know why I panicked. So, coming up Sunday night is not the next round of the Multiclass League. It is going to be the special. Did I download that flyer? Did I not download that again? Did I download it? Let me have a look. Yes, I did. Pow! That's coming up Sunday night, 9 o'clock. So old school sort of 80s and 90s, hot hatches, that sort of thing. It's my choice for tracks, and I've still not looked actually. So after this race, I'm going to stay online. I'm going to look through the tracks and find out which ones, which crazy tracks I'm going to send you around. So we're talking Escort Cosworths, GTIs, Peugeot 205 GTIs, Renault 5 turbos, Alphas. Again, I don't know what the game's got in terms of cars. I have literally played this game enough to open up the online lobbies so I can continue doing commentary. I don't race. I haven't raced apart from to open up enough to do this, because it didn't let you online unless you've done X, Y, and Z amount of. You have to do the sort of the menu books or something to open up the online stuff. So I've done as much as I need to get this. Bosh, that's it. Raced a little bit more on PS4, not too much, a year or 2 before I ended up having to knock that on the head just due to lack of time and too much commentary to get practice in. So there it is. Yeah, you cheats. Don't forget to use those medium tyres if you haven't already. Cheaters trying to sneak around with 3 sets of softs. That's what Pilgrim will do, look. He'll have 3 sets of softs on and we won't notice. So 21:45 then, race 3 just about to get underway. So it is positions from final positions on race 2. That's where you start in race 3. And if you haven't used those medium tyres yet, you better have them on right about now. Otherwise names will be called and stuff. Oh, nearly missed it. Too busy chatting. Here we go then. Race 3. Skippy leads. Pilgrim in 2nd. Faithless in 3rd. Right, let's go on then. They drop. We get race. Oh, wow. Look at the bounce. Oh, look at the bounce. Faithless Emo screaming across track. Getting a toe straight away from Pilgrim. Almost trying to get up the inside early there, Faithless. Nowhere to go though. It's full of a Pilgrim. Oh, there's been contact between the two. Both drivers off. Pilgrim into the barriers. Faithless Emo taking out the signage. Pilgrim knocked all the way to the back. He's got medium tyres on. He's got front end damage. He's got engine damage. He's going to fall miles behind. That could be the end of his race. Skippy leads. Can he fend off these faster drivers? So he's on the soft tyre for the final race. Mocking Weeks is behind him. He's had to put the mediums on because he's not used them yet. Nick Vick in 3rd then. He's on the softs looking for a way past Mocking. Ice Chand on the softs as well. Holding 4th up the inside. Almost of Nick Vick. Almost of Nick Vick. Backed off though. That could have been treacherous for the pair of them. Unfortunately that's allowed Obi-Wan to close right up on them. He's also on the soft tyre for this final race. Captain Pugwash soft tyre. Faithless Emo's had to stick the mediums on because he didn't take anybody's advice. Not that they gave it in the chat. You rats. Should have given him some advice. And then Pilgrim, unfortunately, car now repaired, but 9.5 seconds down from the field. Skippy leads then into the chicane. Mocking Weeks holds 2nd. Nick Vick still looking for a way past. Decides he's going to go off-roading if he needs to. These two behind, Ice Chand and Obi carrying all the speed round that last corner. Up the inside of Nick Vick then into turn 1. Oh, look at them, absolutely sideways through there, straight round the front of Nick Vick. Great bit of driving from Ice Chand and Obi-Wan. Can't deny it, can't deny it at all. Nick Vick just having to just deal with it. Just drivers coming firing themselves past him. Captain Pugwash holding 6th. Faithless Emo all over the back of him, struggling on those mediums. A little bit wide through the exit that turn, picks up a bit of gravel, keeps himself bolted onto the back end of this pack though. Pilgrim falls a little bit further behind, unfortunately, on those medium tyres. Again, car fully repaired, but it's all in the bin early on for him. Skippy then pulls himself a great big chunk of lead here. 1.8 seconds between himself and Ice. Mocking Weeks has made a mistake. He's allowed Ice to get through. He almost allowed Obi 5 and Drive to go through. He's got the inside line down towards the chicane, but we have seen drivers sling it around the outside, and it's different tyre compounds on between the two, and that just shows it. Oh, though, does it? Oh, flipping heck, Obi. He's hammered. He's got to be hammered. He's drinking and driving. Get the cops. So he's on the softer tyre. He's absolutely slung it around a Mocking Weeks, but almost got it wrong in the process. He kept it on track. Mocking Weeks has had to slow down. Nick Vick's managed to get back past him. Captain Pugwash as well flings one past him on the softs. Mocking Weeks again, almost just having to deal with it. These drivers on the faster tyre. Able to brake later, turn faster, turn harder, tighter. He will come under a bit of pressure from Faithless now, 0.6 of a second behind. He'll be after another good result in race 3 here. First in race 1, 3rd in race 2. And obviously the best result he can get out of race 3, Pilgrim not able to close any kind of gap up. Here he is, Skippy, the wonder from down under, taking the win in race 2. Got a decent lead in race 3 here. Still got a full second over Ice Chand. He is bringing that time down a little bit. Was that a driver off I just saw? No, I think it was just bored in at the side. So Obi into 3rd position, 1.2 seconds behind Ice Chand. Nick Vick holding 4th. Captain Pugwash in 5th. There goes Faithless Emo on Mocking Weeks. 6th place for him then. 7th for Mockin. Both on the same tyre though, these two. That'll make it an interesting battle at the back. Pilgrim also on that soft, that medium tyre, but falling further and further down, unfortunately. No slipstream for him. And a long way down, so maybe just a little bit disheartened as well for Pilgrim. So race leader Skippy has had that lead chopped in half from a full second. It's down to 0.4 of a second. Ice Chand taking chunks out of him on the corners previous. Closing up through the S's then onto this little short straight down towards these 290 degrees. 0.4 of a second back still. Not looking to make the move into these. Will just try and tag himself right onto the back end of Skippy on the exit of this next turn and use as much of that slipstream as he possibly can. Still 0.4 of a second, but that time will come down. Just drops to 0.3. Is it going to be enough before the chicane? Don't think it's going to be, unless he goes for a brave move up the inside. He swings himself out to the left hand side. Backs off early, lets Skippy hold on to that one. No mistakes from either of them, and the whole time we've got Obi just looming a little bit in the background. Still 1.8 seconds behind these two. Tiny bit of breathing room for them at the minute. We are over the halfway mark as well, 4 minutes remaining. Skippy under pressure then from Ice Chand. Obi in 3rd position. Nick Vick holding 4th. Faithless Emo in 5th. Starting to close up a little bit on Nick Vick. Trying to drive the life out of this thing at the minute with those medium tyres on. Pulls time over Mocking Weeks. 1.4 seconds the gap between those two. There is Pugwash on his softs, unable to use them to his advantage. Not able to keep at the pace of Mockin and Faithless in the cars in front on those mediums. And again, poor old Pilgrim just chugging around, 16.5 seconds down. Knows he can't get any podiums from this one. And here we go again then. Ice Chand even closer to Skippy on the exit of that final 90 degree. Gap at 0.2 then as we hit the little dip over the brow we go. Skippy goes a little bit defensive. Skippy holds on to it. Ice Chand gets a good drive out of that corner. Is he able to stick one up the inside into these last couple? He has a little look here. He's got his wing up. Could be Ice Chand's. He's got the lead. He's got the inside line into this next turn as well. Can Skippy get one back up the inside on the run up towards the S's? Has a little look, tries to get his wing up the inside. Ice Chand just goes defensive, and there it is. He takes that position for the time being. Unless he drives himself off track here. Stop it, Ice Chand. Getting me nervous. Pushing it here then, these two. Just looking for any way past. Again, not the place to be going for an overtake through the S's. It is possible, but you've got to be absolutely on it. And still, Obi has not been able to close this gap up. 1.6 seconds. Maybe a tenth he's taken out of Skippy. But now, is it Skippy's turn to get a run on Ice Chand down this long back straight? He has got about a similar gap between himself and Ice as they did have when they were swapped on the previous lap. I think Ice is far enough in front that he should be able to hold on to that Goes a little bit defensive, sticks his car in the middle of the circuit. Just, you know, if you're going to make it work, Skippy, I'm going to make it difficult for you, is what he said. And now Skippy having a little look. Can he now get a wing up the inside into these last couple of corners? Doesn't look like he's quite close enough. And Obi-Wan, he had made up a couple of tenths on these two due to the little bit of battling they've had, but that has stretched back open to 1.6 seconds. Oh, come on, that's not what you're meant to be pressing. Nick Vick then still holding 4th position. Faithless hasn't been able to close that gap on him. It's actually opened up a little bit. Holding 5th though. Mocking Weeks falls back a little bit more as well. Tyre wear starting to show on his front left. Captain Pugwash in 7th then, 2.8 seconds behind Mocking. Again, just not been able to get those soft tyres to work for him in this final race. And Pilgrim crashed early on and he's just going to hang about now. Across the line, it's finished over the 10 minutes and he does take the first of the positions, then comes home in 8th. Disaster for him. Ice Chanden onto this long back straight. Here is an Obi. Look at this, all over the back of Skippy in this last few seconds of the race. I don't think he's close enough to go for a move unless he goes for an absolute Hail Mary into this chicane at the bottom of the hill. Ice Chand should be safe. He's 0.8 of a second in front. And again, Skippy's got his own problems now with an Obi-Wan right behind him. Ice Chand through that one cleanly. Skippy also through there cleanly. Obi not able to make the move down towards these last couple of corners. And it is going to be Ice Chand that takes the win in race 3. Skippy's going to come home in 2nd. Obi in 3rd. Great, real tight race by the end. Nick Vick, great result, comes home in 4th. Faithless Emo takes 5th. Mocking Weeks comes home backwards in 6th. Captain Pugwash in 7th. And unfortunately, Pilgrim coming up a cropper in that one. So, there it is, race 3. Done and done. Ice Chand, the full black stealth overalls on the screen then. Taking the win in that final race of the evening. There it is, round 4, done and dusted. So that is it for me tonight, pretty much. I am back again Sunday night. We've not got the P1 multi-class. We've got this thing. 90s sort of hot hatches, that sort of thing. Its catch-up is on. Slipstream is on strong as well, so it is going to be absolute chaos, especially because if you look there, it's my choice. You can pick whatever cars you want, boys. It's my choice of track. All right? I don't know why you decided to give me that. No problem, Faithless. No problem. Good results tonight. Not bad bit of racing at all. And thank you to everyone in the chat. That's all right. No problem. You know I'm always here. But yeah, that's what we've got coming up Sunday night. I am back. Well, maybe on Monday night. It depends. So you may have noticed no C63s. There's very few drivers, unfortunately. I mean, there was only about 8 or 9 in the first round or 2, and it's unfortunately it's petered off. I don't know why, because they're a cracking thing to watch. Maybe they're a pain in the butt to drive, but so it's been postponed for the time being until we can get a couple more drivers in, hopefully before the next round. So I don't even know if that's going to be on Monday. So Sunday night it's going to be the 90s mid-season classic mayhem, my choice of track, but their choice of 90s hot hatch, that sort of thing. Again, maybe Monday if the C63s run again. I don't know. If not, it's going to be same time, same place next week for the next round of the Toyota Corollas. So come and check that out. Again, that's going to be it from me tonight, people. I hope you like what you've watched. If you have, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You know, you can see Faithless is in the chat giving it. Thank you very much. But most of all, what I want you to do, people, is tell your mates and tell your mum. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.